Hola clase, ¿cómo están? Excelente! And welcome back to Learning with Senor Cow Cow. You're joining us on Scruffy Sundays because I haven't shaven for the week yet. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So today we are going to learn something called reflexive verbs, okay? But first, I want to review regular verbs to kind of show you how similar they are, all right? So first, let's go straight to this. All right, here is your warm-up. Saquen papel y practiquen. Pause the video now. All right, first one. I speak Spanish is hablo español, right? Because we started with hablar, which is to speak, and then we changed it, took off the ending, and put o, which makes it I speak, okay? We run in the park. Corremos en el parque. If you want to, you can say nosotros corremos en el parque. But again, most people don't. It's not very conversational. She buys chocolate. Ella, if you want to, you can write ella compra chocolate. They eat chicken. Ellos comen pollo. You study. To, again, if you want to write it, estudias. The reason you don't have to write it is because the ending is what lets you know who's doing it. And finally, he plays soccer. Él juega al fútbol. I put that one in there on purpose because this is the verb jugar, which is an O to UE stem changer for the U. I'm sorry, it's actually U to UE. So we say things like yo juego, tú juegas, él juega, nosotros jugamos, ellos juegan. Okay, things like that. Okay, so that is regular verbs. If you can do that, then you can do what we're going to learn today. Is this plus one extra tiny little step, okay? So first, I'm going to demonstrate what reflexive verbs sound like, okay? So just have a look at what I'm doing here. Me cepillo el pelo. Me cepillo los dientes. Me afeito. Me lavo las manos. Me lavo la cara. Okay, so there you go. Me cepillo, me lavo, me afeito, etc. So that's what they sound like. So let me go ahead and go through the notes. I will post these on Google Classroom as well. Okay, let's just start from the beginning here. All right. So, here's where we want to start from. So regular present tense conjugation is what we were just doing on the warm-up. O, as, a, amos, ais, an. O, es, e, emos, eis, and O, s, e, emos, is, en. Those are your regular present tense verb endings. That's how you take it from hablar, to speak, and make it into hablo, I speak. So this would be what? Yo escucho música. Ellos beben or toman agua. Okay, now here's the new stuff. Reflexive verbs. A reflexive verb is an action that someone does to him or herself. Examples of this are actions like brushing one's teeth or putting on clothes. Remember, here's my little rule of thumb. If your hands come back to yourself, it's reflexive, okay? If you brush yourself, if you put clothes on yourself, if you put makeup on yourself. So, bañar means to bathe. You can bathe a dog, you can bathe a child. There's a lot of things you can bathe. Bañarse means to bathe oneself. In this case, The same person is doing it and receiving it. I am bathing, and what am I bathing? Me, myself. My hands have come back to me. I am bathing myself. So here's a little side by side. Lavo el carro. I wash the car. Notice the man's hands are coming away from his body. They're going away. He's washing the car out here. Me lavo las manos. I wash my hands. Now his hands are coming back to himself. He's not washing the sink. He's not washing the mirror. He is washing himself. So word for word, this says, I wash, just like it does up here. I wash on myself the hands. The reason you don't have to say my hands, if I'm washing and it's on myself, they are my hands. We can assume that much. Here's another one. Baño el perro. I bathe the dog. My hands are going out to the dog. Me baño. I bathe myself. This is the simplest example I can show you. Baño means I bathe. Me means myself. Okay, and again, my hands would be coming back to myself. A reflexive verb looks like this. Ducharse, to shower oneself. Bañarse, to bathe oneself. Cepillarse, to brush oneself. The se on the end lets you know that whoever's doing it is doing it to themselves. Whether I'm doing it to myself, you're doing it to yourself, we are doing it to ourselves, etc. Okay, when you conjugate ducharse, which means to shower oneself, and this is so important. I even have Spanish 3 students messing this up right now. When you conjugate ducharse, you are actually conjugating duchar. Treat it like duchar. Ducho, duchas, duchamos, duchan. So before anything else, you remove the se. Get rid of it. It's like taking the cap off the toothpaste before you can use it. Duchar se. This, get rid of it. When you conjugate it, do it like always. And when I say like always, I mean ducho, duchas, duchamos. But here's the new thing. Add a reflexive pronoun. Anytime you use one of these, you have to have one of these reflexive pronouns. So you got me, te, se, nos, os, se. So me is like saying myself, te, yourself. Sorry, I wonder if I have these headphones on. I keep yawning because it's like I'm covering my ears. It's weird. Se would be like to himself or herself or to yourself, politely, formally. Nos means to ourselves. Os to y'all's self, or selves, I guess. And then se to themselves or to you all's selves. And then the verb. So, for example, when using the verb ducharse, me ducho, I shower myself. Te duchas, you shower yourself. I shower myself, you shower yourself. In Spanish, you must always be clear about who is performing an action and who is receiving it. In this case, they are both the same person. I'm doing it to me. You're doing it to you. Okay? So your reflexive pronouns are these. Okay? So if you need to, you can write this down. You can pause the video. You can screenshot it, take a picture. It's your notes. So what I want you to do is practice with the verb bañarse. Okay? And I'll even do this to help you. I'll add these at the bottom. So you've got me, te, se, nos, os, se. Okay? Those are the ones you have to choose from. Every single time, put one of those. Every single time on all these. Okay? All right, take a moment, pause the video, and these are all bañarse. So number one, just to go and tell you, you should say, I bathe myself. Number one, yo me baño por la mañana. Ellos se bañan en mi casa. Nosotros nos bañamos mucho. Okay? And again, these usually even things like this wouldn't even be there at all. You would just say, me baño por la mañana, nos bañamos mucho, and move on. Okay? I bathe myself. They bathe themselves. We bathe ourselves. The same person is doing it as receiving it. Here's the person, and their arms are coming back to themselves. They are washing themselves, brushing their hair, putting on clothes, etc. Okay? Yeah, now we're all ready. Oh, good. That's the end of the presentation. Now, quickly, I'm going to go over your verbs list. Okay, I'll be posting this as well. These are the verbs that we have to learn. All right, so we have acostarse, to go to bed. Literally, this means lay to lay yourself down. Okay, to recline, to lie down. Afeitarse means to shave. Arreglarse, to get ready. Bañarse, to bathe. Cepillarse los dientes, to brush your teeth. Cepillarse el pelo, to brush your hair. Despertarse, to wake up. Dormirse, to fall asleep. So, like, I go to sleep is yo duermo. If you want to say, I'm sorry, I sleep, yo duermo. I fall asleep, me duermo. So you can tell somebody, like, I fall asleep at 5 o'clock. Me duermo a las 5. Notice also some of these are stem changers. Okay, for example, I wake up is me despierto. Me despierto. Me duermo, me despierto. Okay, ducharse is to shower yourself. Entrenarse, to train oneself. Lavarse is to wash something on your body. Many times you follow this with a body part, like your hands or your hair. Levantarse is to physically get up. Maquillarse, to put on makeup. Peinarse, to comb your hair. Ponerse la ropa, to put on clothes. Vestirse is more of a general to get dressed. And then secarse is to dry off, to dry oneself. This verb ponerse, this one you can use with like an article of clothing. Like if you want to say, I put on the jacket, you say, me pongo la chaqueta. I put the jacket on myself. And then these are just go along with your whole daily routine things. These are not reflexive. Encender la luz is to turn on the light. Apagar la luz, to turn off the light. So these, to say I turn on the light, you simply say enciendo la luz. I turn on the light. Apago la luz. I turn off the light. But you're not doing it to yourself. Your arms are going out away from your body, so you don't need a little metese. All right. Now, there are some really good mnemonics for these. So let me show you some. So acostarse is to go to bed. So imagine if you're out there camping, you coast in under the stars. Afeitarse. Imagine if somebody gets a fade on the side of their head, which is kind of like shaving. So you say, "Give me that fade on the side of my head." Afeitarse. Arreglarse is to get ready. It's a regular thing to do to get ready every day. Bañarse, you probably know the word for bathroom is baño. It's called baño because that's where you bathe. Bañarse. Just like in English, bathroom. Cepillarse means to brush. I think of the two L's like two hairs that have been laid down after being brushed. Dientes, like the word dental. Pelo, you should have known for a while now. All right, despertarse, to wake up. So let's say it's really early in the morning and you are desperate to stay asleep. Or maybe you're having a nightmare and you're desperate to wake up. Dormirse, you sleep in a dorm. Ducharse. This one's kind of sexist, but it just helps you remember. Let's say there's this guy and he's like a big macho bro. You say, "Man, I'm gonna go take a bath." He says, "Girls take baths. Dude, shower." Nobody? All right, that's fine. Entrenarse has the word train in it. Lavarse. Imagine if there's dirt on your hand, so you put your hand in lava and it burns off the dirt. You've washed your hand off of your body. Levantarse is to rise, to get yourself up. It's like the word levitate. Maquillarse. There's a kind of brand of makeup called MAC, M-A-C. Maquillarse, MAC makeup. Peinarse. Oh, it's such a pain to comb this hair. Ponerse la ropa. Poner and put both start with a P. Vestirse. Imagine putting on a vest when you get dressed. Secarse. Let's say your hair is wet, so you jump in the car and you stick your head out and you dry your hair in the car. Encender is kind of like the word incinerate, like to light on fire, you turn on the light. And finally, apagar, to turn off the light. I don't know. Just figure that one out. You'll be fine. Okay. Now, the last thing I'll do on the video, at least, is I want you to do this little practice that I've made. Okay? So each one of these has a person. So here's what you're going to need to do this. Okay. Okay. And the verb is going to be lavarse. Okay? Every one of these I want you to use the same verb, lavarse, to wash. Okay? So number one is going to say, I wash my head. Let's say your head has got dirty from something. Okay? So make a sentence that says, I wash my head. And I'm going to do this one with you just to make sure you get off on the right foot. The answer is, yo me lavo la cabeza. I wash my head. Me lavo la cabeza. Lavo, I wash. Me, on myself. La cabeza, the head. Me lavo la cabeza. All right? So I want you to do 2 through 6. That's not but 5 questions. So pause the video now. All right, the answers are Laura se lava el pelo. Nosotros nos lavamos los pies. Ellos se lavan las manos. Carlos se lava la cara. And tú te lavas la espalda. And there we go. Okay, so that was all the practice for today. So I'm going to jump back to myself for just a second here. Now, because of Veterans Day, we have Wednesday off, completely off. It's a holiday for students and teachers. I will not be assigning any work. I don't want you to do work because of 2 reasons. Number one, it is a day off of school, and we need to take those when they're given to us because they are very few indeed. And number 2, it is a day to honor veterans. Okay, I have nothing but respect for our nation's soldiers and all of airmen, seamen, all the members of the military that we have. We owe them a huge debt of gratitude because they, above anyone else, has been protecting us. They protect us, they serve our country, and they deserve nothing but respect. So please, if you have someone in your family who served in the military or who is in the military, please take a moment and thank them for their service because it is very much a sacrifice of their time and sometimes their life. So, I will not see you again on Wednesday. I will not give any work for Wednesday. Okay? However, I will be giving some stuff tomorrow because we need to practice. Don't expect a quiz or a test this week because we also have to learn things like how to say towel and shampoo and things like that. So, I will leave it there for today, and I will see you tomorrow on here. Adios.